So the July 4th edition of Monday Night Raw, they tried to mix storyline parts with patriotic parts. And the patriotic parts fell short, while some of the storyline parts did get elevated a little bit. It just wasn't a lot, because they tried to shove so much patriotic stuff in this episode, including with Lillian Garcia singing at the beginning. But before that, food fight! Wait, hold up. Not so fast. You had Jiz and Jizette tried to stop it. Now, look, regardless of who was going to try to stop this food fight, they weren't going to fucking stop it. They just weren't, people. It's just as simple as that. And then, next thing you know, Miz, he gets covered with food. Maurice gets covered in food, and I'm like, yeah, that's the way it was supposed to go. But, well, it beats all the white stuff that Miz is usually covered up with. But food fight ensues, and chaos ensues, and it's just, it went on way too long. You get Heath Slater getting double chokeslammed by the Big Show and Kane, and it's like, why? Kevin Owens kind of hides out, and at the end, he gets a pie in his face. It didn't really mean anything, folks. It just didn't. So, I don't know why they even went with a food fight to start. It should have been the whole patriotic thing at the beginning. They should have all been on the stage, and maybe they all should have been on stage while Lillian was singing. But the food fight was just pointless and worthless. It just was. It was just basically mid-carders and below and certain legends there. It wasn't anything to brag about. So you have Rusev Machika, Rusev come out, Rusev defend United States title, Rusev beat Titus O'Neil. Was Titus really a challenge? They tried to make it a worthy match, but it just came up short. It was too slow paced. There wasn't much going on, and there wasn't much to convince us that Titus was going to win the championship. I'm sorry. In my end, there just wasn't. So, you had the Social Outcast come out, and it's like, okay, they're trying to do the patriotic thing, and Heath Slater's still selling his double chokeslam to the table of the food fight, which was kind of, and then Enzo and Cass come out and run off the presidents. They do their little stick. They still remind me of the New Age Outlaws. But they run their microphone stick, and yeah, they beat Social Outcasts. Okay, fine, cool, move on. Charlotte and Sasha segment. This went on way too long, folks. It just does. Yes, it's going to set it up, but at the end of the day, there's nothing to really hype this up. There's nothing to hype this up to take this seriously. Just give us the match, give us a good match, give us a good outcome. That's it. At this point, there's nothing to get excited about. So you had a champion versus champion. Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. This was basically a repeat of the match that they had on SmackDown, pretty much, with nothing really enthusiastic except the ending when he got Dirty Deeds, and that was it. And while he's walking, Seth Rollins comes out, and Dean Ambrose crisscrosses stuff like that, and they start playing their little mind games, but Dean Ambrose changes his mind and goes to the commentary booth, and he actually spoke some Spanish, which was kind of cool, and then he joined the English commentary. Yeah, so you had Rollins going against Dolph Ziggler, which Seth Rollins won, and that match was better than the Jiz Ambrose match simply because who was in the fucking matches. It was just as simple as that. Come on. You couldn't compare the two matches. But I do like what happens after that. Seth Rollins, he goes and talks about, Roman Reigns and his shit. He totally ignores Dean Ambrose, even though Dean Ambrose is WWE champion. And Dean Ambrose was like, fuck this, I'm sick and tired of this. And you want to talk about it? Here. Tosses it and just attacks him. Gives him Dirty Deeds on the fucking Smash announce table. Fine. Interesting. I like the way that ended. He should have did it again because of what happened last week with the two pedigrees. But the Dirty Deeds on the announce table, kind of good of a finish for those two on that segment. Excuse me! Vicky Guerrero. So, yeah, they're still playing the general manager thing as far as saying, hey, we're going to split Raw and SmackDown, and, there's the draft, and, yeah, who's going to be the general manager? Yeah, Vicky Guerrero comes out. Just move on from this. Yes, I know we have Mike Adamle left. We have Eric Bischoff left. I think we have even Kurt Angle left. But at the end of the day, let's just move on from that, please. So, you have the Golden Truth versus the Vaudevillains. Golden Truth wins. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The Vaudevillains were a good, promising team, and now they're just going on a slippery slope. Hey, at least they're better than the Ascension at this point. So, Cena in the club. Do we really have to go through this? Because, yeah, Cena calls out the club and AJ Styles. AJ Styles like, hey, I thought you were going to do something patriotic, you're just whining, and it was basically the same exact thing as before. That's basically it. It was the same exact thing as before, with the three beating Cena down until Enzo and Cass comes out. So, we already know where these two feuds are going to go. Now, currently they have a 6-man tag at Battleground. Why is it a 6-man tag? Why can't it just be a one-on-one and then a tag match? It's beyond me. So you have Becky Lynch beat Summer Rae, and that was just a staple match as far as hyping up a rivalry between Becky and Natalya. That's just it, and they're going to have a match at Battleground. I really, there's no hype that can really just be excited about or take this seriously. So, you have the Wyatts calling out the New Day, come to our compound, and so on and so forth. New Day hits the ring, they're doing their usual shit, they make sure you ain't booty. But now, Xavier breaks his silence, breaks it in, and kind of schools Kofi and Big E about the Wyatts on how they should take this seriously and not fun and games. So it wasn't the whole trans deal, it was just, okay, look, we need to take these guys seriously or there will be no more of the New Day and so on and so forth. Don't know what's going to happen. Don't even know. I mean, if they even have this championship, is it going to be for the titles? Is it going to be a match for the titles? It doesn't seem that way. It's just going to be a match, which will break up the New Day as them still being champions. And then we'll have some type of tournament or whatever, or they're going to break up and have 2 tag team championships on both shows. I don't know. But, yeah. So, you have Team USA versus the Multinational Alliance. Not even going to go through the eliminations one by one. But I'm going to tell you, if you're going to have sole survivors, there should be someone that's up and coming. Apollo Crews would have been a nicer fit. But to have Zack Ryder in the Big Show to close the show out like that, I'm like, okay, Big Show, knock him out, knock him out, knock him out. Turn heel for the millionth time, knock him out. But nothing happened like that, and they closed the show that way. And it's like, seriously? So this Raw took a step back. And I understand that they tried to do the whole patriotic thing, but it just didn't fucking work because they still have to work in storylines. The ending pretty much does nothing. Now, I've overheard that Zack Ryder is going to try to challenge Rusev for the United States Championship, and you know how the fuck that's going to go. They're not going to have Rusev cough up this title to Zack Ryder, in my opinion, okay? I don't think that's going to happen. But this Raw was just about the 4th of July, but it fell short. It fell short because there was too much shit in the way for it to be fully patriotic or to try to carry on the feuds that they already have. So, drop kicks, body slams, throw motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.